to just tell you a little story before we start. One of the focuses I've had for my personal growth, spiritual growth, and practice is meditation. And so I've not tried everything because there's so much out there, but I have been experimenting and trying different things that are free. So this one in particular, because of it's something that I was resisting that I need to do, and it's about self-care and self-love. So this meditation is focused on that. And so it's a guided meditation. So in guided meditations, people talk kind of through them. So I'm going to kind of tell you that. You probably already know that. So just to let you know that. And then what will happen is it will stop and kind of just fade out. And what I'd like for you to do then is continue to sit and do the silent mantra that she talks about in it. And I'm going to have I'm trusting the time, so you don't have to worry about time. And then when the bell rings, you'll stop, but I'd like to ask you if you'll just keep your eyes closed sitting and, focus on your breathing. We'll breathe in, and we'll have a big breath in, breath out, breathe in again, breath out. And then on that third breath, we're going to breathe in, and then we're going to do Om. And then after that, we'll put our hands together, and we'll open our eyes, open our eyes, put our hands together, and then do Namaste. And what I do want to say with this is, personally, I'm going to open up here and tell you that when I first did this meditation, like I said, there was a lot of resistance. I actually made fun of the way the lady was talking. All these things are going in my head. She's too nice. This is too loving. She's sappy. It's like, wow, I got a lot of work to do. So try to just have your little child come out and experience it. And the beautiful thing about this one is she's going to talk in it, but the idea behind it you can take with you and have with you at all times. Anytime, day or night. You can modify it a little bit and do it at any time. So it's always with you. So you're going to experience something that you can take with you and use all the time. So that's one of the things that I like about it too, is because of that. So you can always be having to be mindful when you need it, when you feel negativity or you feel down or whatever. So try to have an open mind with this and just experience it, and we'll take it from there, okay? And just kind of be patient, because I put a lot of things to touch. So if you'll just kind of, okay, just keep breathing while I do things, and we'll do it like that, okay? So she's going to ask you to, sit comfortably. She'll kind of go through it with you. So she'll tell you everything. And like I said, then I'll end it for you. So any questions about what to do?
May I
Yes.
interject an anecdote?
You can.
When you travel with children, you put the cassette tape in and you listen to things. Well, we had this one guided meditation by Emery Tang. And there was a point in there where you take a deep breath and you hold it, and you hold it, and you hold it, and you hold it. And that was the cue the kids would mimic. And hold it, and hold it.
Right. Yeah. So there are times when you do, because I will say, yes, there are things and you'll be going, this is so silly. Things, your brain goes off and says things and everything. And I just ask you to try to bring it back to that and just try to, because it is. And that's one thing with guided meditation that can happen. So, but the good news to this is just an example of you to be able to take with you and do. And you don't have to be in a quiet place and sit and do it. You can be standing and nobody's going to know that you're actually doing it. So that's the cool thing about this. So you can modify this and that. So yeah, it is. And, but that was for me, it was like, that was a signal to me that I needed to do work, and I needed to do the self-care and the self-love. If I'm saying things like that, then that's something for me I need to work on. So, but yeah, kids would do that for sure. Yeah. So, all right. So we're going to start and do this. It's a big square that I press?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Now you need to start.
Okay. It's not.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's the arrow that
Oh.
starts it.
Okay.
Self-love. Reboot. This is a short meditation you can use anytime you feel insecure, vulnerable, or off balance, or anytime you just need a little soul battery recharge. Find a quiet place and a comfortable position and gently close your eyes. Place both hands on your heart. Inhale and silently repeat, I love you. Exhale. Inhale, I love you. Exhale. Inhale, and with real meaning, silently say, I love you. Exhale. Living in the space of love aligns us with our divine nature and opens us up to miracles and blessings. Repeat this as often as needed, and your body and soul will thank you.
So as you sit silently, you can stop your mantra, and if you will now take a deep breath in and exhale and let it out. Deep breath in again and exhale and let it out. And as we breathe in one more time, we're now going, as we let out, we're going to do Om. Om. And then you can open your eyes, and we're going to put our hands together and we'll say Namaste.
Namaste.
So I encourage you at any time that you would feel that you would need that, you can, nobody will even know that you're doing that. You can even just say that to yourself and do the breathing. So you can take this with you wherever you go, anytime. Thank you, Patricia, very much. And we thank Franny and Sandy for the delicious snacks that we have back there. So thank you very much for bringing them. So now we offer this time, invite you, if there's something you would like to share, do a check-in. Knowing that we're in our trust circle, everything that's said here stays within the circle, our confidentiality, to create safe space for all of us. So if there's somebody that has something to say, and then I'll hold the silence and I'll hold the space. And then when it all gets silent, then I will bring us to a close. So I invite you, if you so feel, to share.
I don't know how many people were aware, but the day of the presentation in Tucson, I was in another place completely. I learned of a daughter that needed to get away from an abusive situation in New Hampshire and had to make her way to, well, I guess it's to Dad's house, because right now Dad's house was the only house available for a drop-in. And after she made, well, and actually that started before. And through the guidance of another person, I learned to become a listening parent. Up until this time, there was this whole thing going back and forth among her sisters on she needs to do this and she needs to do that. And I don't think anybody was ever listening to her. So I was in a completely different space. She decided to go to Flagstaff and got a speeding ticket and found out that she was driving on a suspended license. And come and get me, Dad. And it's like, I can't. And I was getting sick. I discovered I had pink eye that weekend. And, but through it all, I think she found the respite that she needed. And she is now working in Marana. And hopefully she's also working on some of these other issues. And I'm adjusting to a different work schedule. I'm working graveyard. So that's been rather interesting. And a few other things that I can share, but I think I've spoken enough.
Thank you for sharing, Brother Philip.
I am so glad the meditation started with the self-love reboot. That's something that I'll remember.
I've been so looking forward to meeting all of you. And I've been trying some different things after the Tucson experience. And one of the things that I've really focused on is the idea of mindful living. And when I would find those nagging thoughts, regret about the past or fear of the future, to give myself a chance to actually hear those thoughts and be with them and let them go. And it's amazing to me the kind of peace that has brought me. And how much more in the moment I've been able to be, and how much more often I'm aware of a sense of being part of everything. And I'm in a different place in my life because of empty nest, and now I've got a granddaughter who's about to go to college. And that's really empty nest, you know. And it's and my youngest daughter just having a baby. My kids are scattered, and it's an interesting time to discover who I am now. And I was thinking about my grandmothers and how I looked to them and how I saw them as wise women. And I thought, you know, more and more I'm feeling that. And I think it's because of this. That our meetings and our discussions and our meditations are allowing me to discover things I know, things I knew that I knew, and then things I didn't know. And they're helping in that reinvention of my roles and my place in the world.
Thank you for sharing, Connie. Somebody else?
Well, I shared a portion, of what I've been experiencing, and a lot has happened in the last 6 months or more, and mixture of darkness, but then being honest to look at it, like we were talking about, and honestly look at it and see that it's okay, and how can I work through this, and being aware a lot more of myself, and like I was talking about self-care, used to just push it down, but I thought I was letting it go, but I really wasn't. Just kind of pushing down, going, oh, okay, I'll kind of work on it. But really then being able to just let it out and really look at it and let it, and not judge it, because that was the other part of it. And so that's what the self-care is, and self-compassion, and being willing to actually give myself that. And I almost had a pride in that, I could give it out to everybody else. But I didn't give it to myself. And that's the first person you have to give it to be able to give it to other people with being honest and truthful. Even if you have good intentions, if you don't have it to give, you can't do it. it comes out ugly in the end because you don't have the patience and a lot of other things. So it's been really good for that to happen. So in the darkness of all that, you really get to actually work through it and be able to do some things with it. So I am so grateful for that. So grateful for that. And being able to do that here and being able to study that and just gives you opportunity to do that. And so the 2 years that I've done this has been life-changing. It really has. And I'm grateful. And what's cool too is I'm looking forward to whatever's going to come. Either there's going to be things that are going to be a challenge, but I have now strength and tools and people that I know and things to where it's like it'll be good. It's going to be good. And that's the beautiful part about it too. So thank you. I appreciate it.
I had such a hard time getting here this morning. I almost missed that exit twice. I almost missed it twice. And then there was construction. And it was great. And it was like everyone, serious, not smart enough to manage the situation. So I was so lucky. And I just kept going, I'm going to miss Patricia's meditation. I need it for Patricia's meditation. And then I blacked out and you hadn't met me. And it's funny because it's really been the theme of my week, this self-love idea. Because I was really lucky as a teenager to get introduced to this mantra. There's an endless supply of love in the universe that flows through me into all things. And I've repeated this all my life. And so the love doesn't belong to me. It's not. I'm not the source of it, but I have access to it all the time. And as I open to it and it flows through me, it nourishes me, and I have it available to send to everyone. A few years ago, I was at this conference, and this beautiful Eastern European woman, she was she came up to me. She said some really kind things to me, and said something to me about how to receive the conference. And I said, yeah, I try to look hard for this. People are always nice. She said, no, you have that wrong. She said, people are nice to you because you're nice to yourself. You say nice things to yourself. You're the nicest person on earth, saying kind things, taking care of people all the time. You're not doing that to yourself. And this week, I have a dear friend who's 16 and who was born with a lot of struggles. Physically, she had a lot of things that were different about her body. She's gone through many surgeries, and she had another surgery. She was talking to me about how it's about how she looks, but it's also about how she feels. She was saying these many things about herself, and I shared all of what I just shared with you in this conversation. And it's really changing, right? Some of us are walking through life, and it's a lot easier than it is. But to be trying to share the example, like I believe, like to ourselves, where we have that to be shared. Okay. Thank you.
Somebody else? Oh, yeah. It's an invitation.
I had a magical moment with my fourth graders yesterday. showed them. So we've been watching videos, which is through child's eyes. It looks at a lot of Beethoven is loss of hearing and it's beautiful and it's very childhood friendly. So we finished it, we discussed it, and one of the kids said, "Well, is it like when you lost your voice?"
Mm.
And I said, "Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, I'm no Beethoven, but yeah." And his example has given me courage. And so then I played a recording for the kids of me singing. I've not done before. And you know, it was really amazing because every one of those fourth graders that are usually hanging from the ceiling were just there with me. And I was able to say to them, you know, no matter what happens, you can find a way to do this. You can find a way, you know, whether I can ever sing like that again or not, I now sing with you. And even if I couldn't do that, I'm still a musician and I will still find a way to bring that music into the world. And as the kids were leaving, one of them came up to me and he said, "I want to be in choir." That would have been great. But it was just, you know, it was magical. And when you were talking about your 6-year-old friend, thank you.
Thank you.
I think since I was aware of being able to have thought about myself, I felt like I didn't fit in and I didn't measure up. I wasn't good enough. All those wonderful cliches. Always felt like the outsider. And I felt that way even past when I was in 36 and finally got clean and sober, and I still felt that way as I began to actually realize or work on or begin to develop a real view of myself, unadulterated, honest, somewhat accepting. The acceptance came year to year. And now I find myself in a place in my life where I'm the outsider, but it's where I want to be. Now I don't fit into a lot of things, and that's good. I don't want to fit into them. The word institutions comes to mind. I was taught by a man that I worked with. He said, no matter what the institution is, he says, always hold every institution in a healthy contempt. He's absolutely right. And it makes for a struggle sometimes because of what I do, but that's okay. It's worth it. And realizing that by being sometimes the outsider allows me to connect with other people that have the same feeling more than upends the scales for me. And I couldn't agree more with the whole, the idea of this self-love is, you know, for us that are in the clergy world, you know, love God, love your neighbor, love whatever power you believe in, and love your neighbor. And if it doesn't start here, with all due respect, most of the years, maybe I was loving my neighbor as myself.
Mm.
And I was self-destructive, so what would that mean for my neighbor? So, you know, being objective as much as we can about ourselves and having community that we can actually talk honestly about and know that we're being listened to and trusted and in some cases validated makes all the difference in the world. And the metaphor that I always heard, whatever you want to call it, but I've always really liked this one. And it's true of in our work, in our relationships and everything, but we're all like a well. And if we keep pulling water out of the well and just keep doing that, eventually the well goes dry because we haven't given it enough time to fill up again. So we can only give out what we have. And that points back to the idea that, you know, sometimes we have to have some boundaries and some time to refill. And that really is because then we will be able to love others better. That's all.
Thank you, John. Somebody else?
Yeah, I had an experience in this class this week. I'm on our HOA board. I'm actually the president of the HOA board. Surprise, surprise. And we had an election that people were upset with. And so we finally worked it out, and now we have more people on the board, which I didn't really want. And the new people that came on, you could tell that they were on a mission. They were going to fix this place. Finally, someone is here to fix this place. We're going to do it. And I got a note from one of them. He said, "Can you please send me a plot of our complex so that I can, you know, begin planning the new drainage situation?" And I was just furious. It's like, for one, what do you think I've been doing the last couple of years? And who are you to come in and you're just going to take credit for everything that I've been working to try and make happen for a couple of years? We've been saving money, but oh no, you're going to save everything. I was just furious. I'm done with this board. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's just too much stress. I got other things to think about. And then I thought of this class. Let's just sit. So I had to sit with all this anger for like 2 days. Just say, okay, how do I feel? Why do I feel that way? I managed to make it through Sunday's sermon, which was actually paid attention. It's just a little helpful. But it turned out, I think before having come here, I'm not sure it would have occurred to me just to sit with all of this anger and just not try and push it away, not try and explain it away, just kind of sit with it. And, you know, and after a couple of days, it's like, you know, he's trying to help.
Hmm.
And I actually do have the stuff he's looking for. And I actually have it all figured out. And it could be I'm just going to give him all the stuff that I've already done, and he's going to look at it and say, wow, you've already done everything. in those first moments, it's like, he's taking over! Rather than, let's just live with it and provide information, and it maybe will turn out okay. And, and I think it might. But it was a good lesson for me, and just sit with that anger. And he's not going to tell me that I have to do something that I don't want to do because I don't. It's not my mother. I don't have to do it. My mother looms large. It's my mother, and I have to do it. I remind myself I only hit one.
Okay.
Not actually here
Can
anymore.
you go greet them? It's probably some of our guests. Thank you. Kind of hold them outside. I think that's really.
It was helpful. All that.
Number 2, you're the president.
It just means you have to corral and wrangle all these angry, loud cats.
Exactly.
Speaking of cats. So, the last 3 or 4 nights, this cat, it was clearly somebody's very lost pet, has been showing up on my doorstep at midnight, performing the loudest concert ever. Any species. Yeah, it's been an exercise in trying to show hospitality to a lost, desperate refugee trying to find shelter without completely throwing off my entire life, making my own cats very jealous and maybe a little mad at me, but realizing that the right thing to do sometimes is just let this missing cat come in and sleep on my pillow because it's the only way to get it. Shut up. Trying to see what total hospitality, unconditional acceptance looks like. And goes sort of hand in hand with right around the same time this cat showed up was when I started my latest job, actually working in a road construction crew in Mesa, repairing cracks in the sidewalks, which, Mesa, there's a lot of cracks on sidewalks and roads to do, and getting used to coworkers who kind of look like stray cats. They show up to work and they spend another 16 hours a day drinking, smoking, just indulging in whatever. And this was the first time I've been around people who live like that. And I see a sort of challenge emerging in the next several months that I'm going to be doing this to be present to people like that and to really try to accept them for who they are and see them as people, not just as their habits and behaviors. So that they have as much value as anyone else does.
Wow.
So,
Wow. Thank you for sharing that, Eric. Somebody else. Oh, probably is. Probably is. That sounds like some bagpipes. Okay, I'll hold space for about 30 more seconds, and then we'll take a break.
Oh, yeah, Susan.
There's your 30 seconds. There you go. You have more than 30 seconds. You have more than 30 seconds. Take the time.
Talking about learning a lot from the group and utilizing the resources in the group. I'm just going to put a plug in for 2 people that I've used this month that helped me. I got a card reading from Carla, which was really amazing. And then Sandy helped me with the sacred contracts, the archetypes, because I missed the last half of that class that Wendy was here. That was really, really helpful. One of the things that came up with Carla, and this has come up for me before, where she suggested that I do writing. And I don't know if you've heard of Julia Cameron and her book, The Artist's Way, where she talks about writing morning pages, where you wake up, the first thing you do in the morning is you just like write anything that comes to mind, to just for 3 pages every day. And it's supposed to help with your creativity and just overall spiritual connection. So I'm not really much of a writer, and I tried to do it because I tried to do it in the past. And I thought to myself, if somebody finds these pages after I die and reads them, it's going to be really, really like, I don't want to hurt people's feelings or embarrass people. And so I thought to myself, well, why can't I just say what I'm going to write? And so I started just talking out loud and saying what I was going to write. And that felt much better. And still maintaining my privacy. So I just wanted to share that. That probably some people, if they walked by the room, they'd think, okay, what this crazy lady talking about herself. And I have to say, this morning I'm just really happy with last night's cancellation of the Trump rally in Chicago, because I'm from Chicago and that's the school I went to, and UIC, and it just felt really good.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it's good.
I went to sleep last night reading about that. And we woke up this morning having a dream that I was wondering all these children who walked through the streets singing. And it was somehow by Trump. And it was so beautiful. It was like sunny and all of their hair was glowing.
May the children save us. Right? All right, let's just hold space for about 30 seconds. Be sure all that's been shared needs to be shared. Thank you. Thank you very much. So let's take like about a 10-minute break here, kind of get ourselves reorganized a little bit. We'll get Joyce ready to go, and we've got some guests, hopefully. Why are you not stopping? Yes, it's in that ice chest right there. Okay. Done.